You know what? I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of these adult animations coming out and being absolutely great. I mean, just recently we got friggin' Seis Manos on Netflix coming in hot with the goodness.
Pause. What the fuck?
You know what I mean. And being absolutely god tier on the action, story, and characters. Like, this decade has just been hitting as hard as it possibly can with the adult series. And they just need to chill out before they end up killing somebody. I mean, really. This series is created by Brad Gaber, who worked on the Castlevania series, and it very much shows here with how they execute a lot of it. And Alvaro Rodriguez, who worked on that live-action movie Machete, so you see where the Hispanic elements come from, as well as the overall insanity of this show. It heavily wears its influences on its sleeves. The main premise is about a group of orphans, now adults, using martial arts to solve mysteries, fight off drug cartels, and stop blood rituals in a small town in Mexico, all for the sake of avenging their dead Shifu. It seems like a small-time series, but I tell you now, it pulls no punches. It can have strong, impactful moments that hit on an emotional level, and it does this by building up the characters and having you enjoy them and their interactions, and sweeping the rug right from under you when you start getting complacent. Just the first episode alone hooks you in right off the bat, because they straight up show you, yeah, this isn't your average adult series. They take things to the extreme and let it be known that people are not safe no matter who they are, and it does well by mixing different cultures like Chinese martial arts and Hispanic spirituals to build up the world, but they know how to have fun as well. It balances itself perfectly with serious moments handled by fun characters who are easy to connect with.
Time to get stupefied.
The characters bring an absolutely fun likability to this show. You have the main group that consists of Silencio, the hot-headed silent type, as well as the strongest fighter. Obviously he doesn't talk much, but you get some emotions out of him, especially when he's angry. You can understand his anger since at a young age he had his tongue cut out.
Jesus Christ.
He's more of a no-nonsense than the rest of the crew and tries to find a proper balance of his emotions so he doesn't get consumed by his anger, but he ends up failing a lot of the time, but you can understand why when it happens. Isabella's the well-rounded female of the group. She's more level-headed than the rest and tends to act more as the leader since she can keep them in line, or at the very least try to. You feel her struggle with wanting to keep her family together since they lost their teacher/father. Then you have Jesus, who's more the goofball of the trio. He's definitely a playful type, but he's still pretty competent in his skills and doesn't hold the team back, though him being a drunkard can hold him back a bit, but not too much since he knows drunken fizz, which, come on, that's just awesome. This group together are a fun lot, but they carry a lot of the emotional weight of the series with them being orphans who ended up losing their teacher who raised them, so you get the sense of family between them since they're all they have left, and now have to find out what caused their teacher's death in the first place.
No.
The main group are supported by others that are pretty likable as well. There's Brister, played by Mike Coulter from Luke Cage, who's a DEA agent sent to investigate what's going on in the town. He's an absolute jerk with a complete disregard for others and a bit of a racist, and that kind of makes him pretty funny. Let me explain. His terribleness is what you laugh at because it's portrayed in a way where you're clearly laughing at him, not with him. He's someone you're not supposed to look up to, but mock because they're pretty out of touch on some things.
Police station. Where's the police station? Damn. Hey, how do you say police in Mexican?
There's no such thing
As police?
as that language.
He gains a little sympathy since he was a war veteran that got some soldiers killed by leading them to their deaths. Some of them were even racist towards him, so you get how he can have an attitude about most things. But he still is funny because his reactions to everything happening around him, and even learns to stop with his more racist mindset. So that's the one thing that works, is that he learns to better himself. There's also Officer Garcia, who's basically Brister's partner. She acts as the guide through town and more the level-headed one. Starting to see a bit of a pattern here. She puts up with Brister's garbage attitude and makes sure he doesn't get himself killed. She's honestly fun due to the fact that she offsets Brister's more clueless mindset. All of these characters bring a great fun and emotional energy to the show and manages to get you to want to see how things turn out for them. That's just the greatness of all these characters. They're fun, enjoyable, and you really want to see how it's going to turn out well for them. Or at the very least, hope it turns out well for them.
I think it's okay. We're alive.
Yeah, we sure the hell are.
The world brings its own showcase of the supernatural, with it having the spirit realm being used and having ghost possessions, as well as some of the creatures the group has to face off against. You get some monsters that were people who got converted by some type of dust by a drug lord. These things are completely relentless with their bloodthirst. They even go as far as to eat their own and are completely unstable to the point they even kill themselves. The big bad who controls them is a guy by the name of El Balde. He's played by Danny Trejo, and he plays no games with how he runs his business. He'll kill his own men if he feels they failed him, sometimes in a simple way and other times in a brutal way. He brings the major trouble for the group since their teacher was killed by one of his creatures. He plays no game when it comes to hurting people, be they old or young. He lets it be known he is the true monster of this story. And that's just ugh. It's gruesome when he lets it out.
I want candy.
Damn!
The animation is very reminiscent of the Castlevania series, and that's mainly due to the fact that it's animated by the same studio powerhouse that did that series, so you get a lot of violence mixed with some well-shaded background work that adds that grit to the show, and even has a nice gimmick to it by having this filter over it that makes it feel like an old-timey western film or an old-timey kung fu movie. And speaking of the kung fu, boy almighty, they know how to do some good fighting. The fighting in here is phenomenal, like grade A. Everyone deserves a round of applause for how they animated this fight. I mean, really.
Revenge won't bring you peace, mano.
This is an absolute fun god tier series. The characters are just great and very sympathetic and easy to connect with. The animation is grade A and is able to have great action sequences and portray the martial arts in a fun and unique way, not to mention give us some good old-fashioned violence. The story keeps intrigue high with you wondering what's gonna happen next and how will the characters get out of their predicaments. This series is just pure grade, fun, entertaining, unadulterated fire. It would be impossible to say you're bored by this because it knows how to hit on every level. But that's just a thought.